In her essay entitled On Photography, Susan Sontag delves into our ever-increasing dependence on photography. Photography enables us to possess something. It gives us a certain kind of power. We know that this small corner of the world exists, and that knowledge makes us powerful. Photography touches us in ways that reading or viewing something on the TV cannot. Skillful photographers use their cameras to interpret the scene in front of them. Rather than take a photo of a large crowd, for instance, a photographer will focus on one particular aspect of the crowd, which then is intended to stand as a representation. Photography can have a powerful effect on politics. Photographs of a public figure in a compromising position can ruin someone's career. In some cases, politicians are forced to rely on photographs to determine what is going on in a certain country. For example, however, the North Korean media is controlled by the government, and it is difficult to accept the truth of their statements. Consequently, the world must rely on photographs such as this one to determine the fluctuating health of the North Korean leader and play an elaborate guessing game to determine the state of affairs in North Korea. Sontag states that, recently, photography has become almost as widely practiced in amusement as sex and dancing, which means that, like every mass art form, photography is not practiced by most people as an art. It is mainly a social right, a defense against anxiety, and a tool of power. It hardly matters what activities are photographed, so long as photographs get taken and are cherished. This is evident in the ever-growing world of social media, where it is deemed vitally important to periodically upload pictures of nearly every event in one's life. Photography has become so central to our lives that people race to upload pictures of a certain event, and people scramble to comment on them, even if they were present for the actual photo. Sontag also states that photography develops in tandem with one of the most characteristic of modern activities, tourism. Through photography, we can experience a brief moment when we fit into a situation which is outside of our comfort zone. The act of taking a photograph gives us control of a situation in which we were a passive observer. We like to think that visiting famous sites makes us a part of the culture which created them, though in reality, we only see the stereotype of a culture, shoved between the thousands of other tourists fighting for the perfect camera angle. This photograph of the Sphinx might make you think of the ancient Egyptians, right? However, the reality of the Sphinx is metal barriers directing the tourists where to stand, and Egyptians. Photography also helps to perpetuate stereotypes. For example, when you think of California, you probably think of surfers, warm weather, palm trees, and the Hollywood sign, right? Well, as a native Californian, I can tell you that that ideal is highly inaccurate for anywhere outside of Los Angeles. The left photograph is of the Golden Gate Bridge, taken in mid-July. That's right, I said July, which, ironically, is one of the coldest months of the year in the northern part of California. Where do you think the picture on the right was taken? Yep, that's in California too. Surprisingly to most people, we do in fact get snow in the winter. Sontag describes the act of taking photographs as creating an image world, which takes a tiny fragment and immobilizes it into an image or idea that will likely last longer than we will. Photography has a darker, more violent side. This is evident when we load and aim a camera and then shoot a picture. The act of taking a picture can be violating to the subject. Celebrities are targets of this violation every day, as you can see in this photograph of Prince William. Taking a photograph can also lead to disastrous consequences, such as in the case of William's mother, Princess Diana, who tragically died while trying to outrun photographers.